Welcome to the Daily Energize Podcast, where you'll get a jolt of energy and a quick tip to help you conquer your day. Now here's your host, the Prince of Positivity himself, Spencer Jones.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed at times? You know that feeling when you just can't get caught up. Stuff is hitting you over and over and over again. It's piling up, and it's like this non-ending, non-stopping journey of crap being thrown at you. And maybe it's not crap. Maybe it's a bunch of great things, but still, it's overwhelming. It's like you can't get a breath of fresh air. I get it. I've been there. I felt that way many times in my life. But when I was teaching, I felt that way. A lot of times, especially when it came down to musical season and concerts and competitions, to our working for myself, being an entrepreneur, and looking at some of the events that we have and our summit and prepping and getting things set, and a whole variety of things can lead to it. Overwhelm happens. So if you are feeling that, you're not alone. You and other energizers and people who aren't energizers, at least not yet, feel that way. It's part of this human experience. But it's a part of this human experience that doesn't help us be at our best, except for the fact that we can learn and grow from it. That's about the biggest benefit of it, is we can learn and grow from it. But outside that, it doesn't really serve us. It doesn't help us be at our best and help us shine our light. So what can you do when overwhelm strikes? Well, first of all, plan. See if you can plan ahead for it, or knowing when a busy time happens, because a lot of times we do it to ourselves. We say yes to too many things, right? We say, oh yeah, I'll do that. Or maybe you're like me and struggle with people pleasing, so we say yes to that person because we want to make them happy, and all of a sudden you have so much on your plate that you don't know where to start or turn to, and it's overwhelming. It becomes daunting. I said, I get it. I've been there. It happens. So don't beat yourself up when it happens, but if we can even prep for it, all right, what does that look like? How can we schedule, or how can you schedule your day? What can you do to make sure it's not overwhelming? And what do you say yes to, right? What's in alignment with you? What aligns with your priorities, your purpose, your vision? Say yes to those things, and if and only if they align and you have time for them. Otherwise, say no if you can. I understand it's not always possible, but say no if they do not align or if you do not have time for it. But also, if you start to feel overwhelmed, and again, it's bound to happen at some point, take that eagle vision idea. Right? And maybe you've heard me talk about this before, right? Eagle can see the whole forest and it can zoom in. Well, if you're seeing the whole forest, that's usually when we feel overwhelmed. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many things to do. I gotta do this project over here. I gotta do this and that and the other thing, and I got all these different projects. And it feels overwhelming, and you can't breathe. It doesn't feel like you can get a deep breath in, and you paralyze yourself. Right? We pause, we freeze instead of taking action. So, and I'm not saying just go take action right off the bat. Pause for that moment and evaluate. Okay, I'm seeing the whole forest. I see all these different things. Let's zoom in, like eagle can. Let's zoom in and focus on one thing. What's the next thing I need to do? What's the most important thing? What's the next step in the sequence that you're working on? Whatever it is, what's that next thing? And go after that. Tackle that. Don't worry about the step after that. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Or the next 10 steps. Nope. Just the very, very, very next one. Focus on that. And then focus on the next one. And then the next one. And then after you get a couple of those down and you're feeling a little bit better, then maybe you could zoom out and just see, okay, am I on track? Am I going in the right direction? Great, I'm going in the right direction. Then come back in and focus one task at a time. Overwhelm is going to happen. It's part of this journey. Don't beat yourself up. If you find yourself there, go, I should have planned better. Okay, cool. Maybe you could have, or maybe it's just how this happened. See what you can do to learn from it so you can prevent this in the future. Or minimize it, make it happen less often, but then zoom in. Tackle it one task at a time. For me, when I start to feel overwhelmed, it's usually because I have so many things rolling around in my head. And I'm like, oh, I got to take care of this, got to do this, got to take care of that thing and the other thing. And I just keep playing them over and over and over and over again. That list, that might be 8 to 10 things, or maybe more. Sometimes it's less. But it seems so much bigger because I've just been replaying it over and over and over in my head that it seems like a list of 50 things. So for me, when that happens, I sit down and I write it all down. And maybe that list is 20 things. But often, it's like 5 to 10. And I just realized, oh my gosh, I've just been replaying it and freaking myself out when it's really not all these many things. Now, some of those things might have multiple steps to it. Okay. So let's look at one of those things and let's go after the step, one step at a time. One task at a time, one step at a time. We'll get there. So don't beat yourself up if you feel overwhelmed. Instead, learn from it, but then take it one step at a time. You got this. All right, let's finish this week strong. Keep shining bright. Until next time, I'll catch you later.